right. Welcome to another episode of Brews with Brianna. I am Brianna. This is my brew. Actually, it's a cup of ice because I'm anemic and ice makes me happy. Yeah. All right. Today's topic, or tonight's topic, because I'm filming this in the evening. It's going to be a good one. Rejection, L's, losses, tears of hurt, disappointment. We'll cut that short. Rejection and L's, the losses we take as people in private, behind closed doors, and then in front of everyone, our peers, our family. For me personally, it's like whether it's in public or behind closed doors, I'ma still feel away. And I know some people, it's like as long as nobody else knows, I'm good. I can take my losses on my own. But for me, it's both ways. I don't care if it's in front of people. I don't care if it's behind closed doors. I'm gonna feel away. I'm gonna get out my feelings, and I'll move on. I used to, real quick, before we just dive into it, I used to suppress a lot of like, okay, whatever. But now I have learned to, whatever the emotion is, whatever it is, happiness, anger, disappointment, sadness, I have learned to feel the emotion, feel all parts of it, do what's necessary to navigate through. Don't just bypass it. Sometimes it's like a little one-off, whatever, and you can do that. But sometimes you can't. You have to feel your way through, address those feelings, and come out on the other side like, woof, okay? So, what was that? Oh, okay. So yeah, rejection. I take L's. I take rejection. I've been taking it like on the reg. Like it's been my life because I'm a dreamer and I'm a doer. So a lot of stuff is just like, you know what? I'm doing this now. I'm gonna make it happen. I might have some of the information, but I never have all of the information. I'm not a super like detailed person when it comes to certain things that you should look into. I just kind of like, I love going from like my spirit, and I'm just like, you know what? Let me get like the background, the foundation. Let me just get that information, and then we'll go from there. Because people will say have business plans, have this, have that. Sometimes you just gotta do it. And I'm a just gotta do it person. I have a feeling, I have the idea, I have a dream, and I'm like, I just gotta do it. I gotta go for it. And so that applies to 516, which I started January of 2021. I did the official launch. I was promoting it. No, I'm not even gonna put quotations. I was promoting it, but if you know me, I know you can't tell by this series, but I am not a very like social person, and so I have resting bitch face as well, and I'm not the like. I have good energy, but because the face is not the most inviting thing, and I'm very like quiet, it's just kind of like, oh, let me leave her alone. So me promoting was just kind of like my four best friends, my family mainly, and yeah, just relying on them to spread the word to their friends and going from there, which it did kind of work in the beginning, so I won't even knock that. But I did the promoting like November 2020, and then did the official launch of January 1st, 2021. And, out the gate, not a whole lot happening, not a whole lot. Shit just like did not pop off in the way that I wanted it to. Yeah, but it was a learning curve. I don't know what I expected. I wanted like a good like, what do you call that? Like, I wanted it to be received really well. I wanted it to just reach the masses. But again, when you're not a social person, when you delete your Instagram like every other 3 years or something, social media, you're not keeping up with things, you're just living in your own little bubble, it's kind of hard to like, you know, get shit out there, get people to notice things or whatever. So that whole first year, all of last year, was just a huge learning curve. I was super optimistic, you know, just living in my own little world, like it'll come, the social part will come, you know. I was really relying on my friends and family to spread the word because I didn't even want to talk about it. Like I wanted them to do it. I was just like, God forbid that I get asked about my own brand that I start and somebody asks me to explain it. Who about to who's about to sit somebody's face and talk about it? Like, I know what it means to me. I know what 516 merch means to me. I know what I see in the future for the brand. I know what it has the potential to be, and again, like I just know what it means to my spirit and soul. But that doesn't mean that, you know, because I know everybody else knows, because it doesn't work like that. So last year was a lot of growing, understanding the paperwork, understanding LLCs and trademarks, how much those shits cost, because it was a lot. And just becoming more business savvy, and then, you know, working on the social aspect as well, which I just now like came into. Like, this is a much better year for me promoting 516 merch. And why am I stuttering? This is a better year for me promoting 516 merch, my brand, and just being more interactive with it. But I took all kind of losses. I took all kind of L's last year. Like, I wasn't expecting not to take L's at all. Like, because I know the clothing business is a very slow, and it's a steady grind. Like, you have to like stick to it and build it and everything. But I don't think I was prepared for how many losses I ended up taking. Financially, trying to set a budget aside and not have it dip into my personal life last year, just for the business aspect of it, that was a whole thing. But you know, you live and you learn. So that was taken, you know, into a different direction, and figuring out how to have separate systems of payment for your business versus it just like, you know, having to deal with your own personal like bank account, just creating its own little thing. But not to have the whole, you know, video just be about my business. That was like my biggest learning curve as far as like losses and rejection, and people, you know, reaching out, people not really being interested in understanding what my brand is. Because again, just because you know what it is, you know your weirdness, you know all this stuff, doesn't mean that it conveys well to others. So there was just a lot of, you know, where are my weird people? Where are the people who are interested in this stuff? And it's just like, because if, I mean, you look at it and you're like, what the fuck? But anyways, other L's. Whew, some of those L's I'm taking to the grave with me, because, you know, you don't tell your family and friends everything. So I'm not trying to like spill my whole business, my whole life out in this series. But took some L's as an older sibling, not being the best older sibling that I could be, even though, you know, I try my best. I kind of pride myself on, you know, being there when people need me to be there, being reliable. Reliability is, I don't know, I think it's one of my strong suits. If I say I'm going to do something, 9 times out of 10, I'm doing it. Like, I'm there. What else? Relationships. Oh, fun. Well, no, wait, before we get into that, L's in career. So I went to culinary school, and I know if I have, like, understand that I was doing seasonal work working in different resorts and stuff after culinary school for about like 11 years. And if you're a former coworker of a place, I have been a different person at each restaurant I've worked at. So besides, the only consistency is that like I don't really talk and I'm to myself and I'm not like I'm in and out. Like I show up to work, I work and I leave. I'm not for like all the, interaction and stuff like that. Like I want to work and go. I'm old school with it. But besides that, I've been a different person at each job. So if I say something and you're like, oh, I don't really, get that from you, it's probably, I wasn't probably that way at that specific job. L's, losing my temper. In food service hospitality, I don't care what anybody says. I've been around a bunch of men long enough to know that they are way more emotional than women, even though they want to talk all the shit in the world. Literally, I won't even get into that. But men will really be ready to fight over some really minute things. And it's just, yeah. Anyways, I've lost control emotionally in situations and have like flat out cursed out food and beverage directors, GMs. I'm not proud of it because I don't like anybody thinking that they have control over me. Like, you have the power to make me step outside of myself, because I don't calm down easily. If I get to that point, I am angry. I am like beyond coming back, and it takes me like time. I'm talking like days to calm down and not be frustrated or like angry anymore. So I've definitely taken L's in that sense, where like, you start off as like the employee who's, super ready to take on any task, any challenge, reliable, dependable, showing up, they're going to be there when nobody else is, your other leaders are supposed to be there, but they're like drunk on their ass or high off something and they didn't come in, but they know you're going to be there. You go from that to losing your shit, and now nobody wants to talk to you. You're the crazy bitch. Like, nobody wants to do this, nobody wants to do that around you or be in your space. So I've taken L's in that way because I never wanted anybody to like view me in that sense. But then on the other hand, it's like, we're all human, things happen, but that one moment changes, it leaves a lasting impression. So all the good that you did, all the hard work that you did, it gets overshadowed by that one moment where you couldn't take it anymore and you just let it rip. I've taken L's as a manager thinking that, and I was young, but thinking, just because you're off the clock and out of uniform doesn't mean that you can go into a public space where you may interact again with guests that you were serving or helping or whatever the case is while in uniform, and not have your actions matter because you were no longer in uniform. If that, like, imagine you're front of house manager, you're taking care of your guests, taking care of your employees, making sure the restaurant's running well, the front anyway. Then after that, restaurant shuts down, close up shop. It's like, okay, we're going to the bar, about to turn up. And it's like, okay, I'm off the clock. I'm out of uniform. I'm about to be twerking in this corner over here. I'm about to be on the bar acting a fool. But you shouldn't judge me because I am no longer on the clock, even though I was just, yes, ma'am, yes, sir, like 2 minutes ago. Definitely taking L's in that sense. Definitely been drunk and just had words. Had words with like the G, like I don't even want to get into all this because I don't want my mom watches and she's just gonna be like, why, Bree? I was 21, 22, 23, like I was just out there living and just, I wanted, my work play was super, it wasn't like balanced. It was like work, play, work, play. Like I was ready to just unload, especially if you work in hospitality or you just deal with people customer service in general, and you deal with people and you're taking in all that energy and you don't know quite where to put it because you're not just trying to go home yet, especially when you got all this energy and you don't know what to do with what you've taken on, all these negative vibes or whatever the night held. You just let it out at a bar somewhere, and whatever happens, happens. Not anymore, but, well, let me not say that because I don't know. It depends. It depends on where I'm at, who I'm with today, whatever. But taking the L's in that sense. I hope I'm not coming off as irresponsible because I'm not irresponsible, like, in that sense. Like, I'm not just, I don't know. It's just that when I do stuff, it's to an extreme, you know? Or when I did do stuff, let me correct myself. It was just like, okay, well, I never go out. Let me go out. And when I go out, it's just like, oh no, not 2 drinks, not 3 drinks, 4 drinks. I'm feeling it, but we can keep going. And then there's been a lot of those moments anyways, earlier in my life. L's in relationships. Well, again, let me pause on that. Let me just say that for the end because that's a whole thing. L's in friendships. Not initially not speaking up, not addressing issues, even though, you know, you would assume that that person, because of your friend, your best friend, whatever, they know you inside and out, that they should act in this certain way, they should do these certain things. You know, taking L's in communication with friends and losing friends. Sometimes, for the most part, I think it was all, you know, supposed to happen. But a lot of times it was like, I wonder where we'd be if, you know, I hadn't suppressed me going off. If I, you know, when I got pulled to the side and was told, you know, you're acting funny, what's wrong with you? If I had just been like, you know what, I feel like this, and this. I feel like you're doing X, Y, Z, and I'm not with it. I'm not, you know, I'm not fucking with it. I'm not okay with being treated this way. Instead of just being very cold and just being like, you know what, I see how you're moving. I'm not going to say anything, but I am going to remove you from my life. And then people are just kind of left with, you know, I don't know what happened. We just stopped talking or whatever, or she's just like this and it's whatever. So I've taken L's in friendships in that sense, because sometimes, I don't know. What's meant to be is what's meant to be, friendship or otherwise. But I definitely have taken L's in communication when it comes to friends. And it took me a little while to learn to, you know, gather my words, make them clear, and just communicate in the best way that I know how, and to let people know up front, like, hey, this may come off like this, but this is all I'm trying to say. This is not, don't mistake my tone for this, or this is just how, you know, it's literally just a matter of communicating properly instead of scrapping things all together. But like I said, what's meant to be is meant to be. And obviously, even though it wasn't handled in the best light, those people are not in my life, and it's for a reason, as I'm not in theirs. So, okay. Whew. Where are we at on time? 20 minutes? I don't want this video to be super long, because I've been giving y'all like 30-minute videos, over 30 minutes, and I'm just like, they're not even watching the full thing. I see the analytics. Y'all not even watching the full thing. So, lastly, L's in relationships. All relationships, family, friend, romantic, they are all to improve your growth, improve your being, help you to understand what you do want in another and what you don't want, and help you to learn yourself. We'll you know, keep it there. I've taken some major L's. The biggest, I'd say the biggest consistent thing early on was taking kindness as, and these are not just words, but actions, taking kindness as, okay, we together. So, like forcing people into relationships without knowing it, and then at some point they're just like, how did we get here? I'm not feeling this, and now I'm feeling kind of a certain kind of way, because it's just like, no, 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 but you were acting like XYZ, you were super this, super that, and you never said you didn't want to. So it's not just on me. Like, there was a lot of, I've taken L's in that sense. I've taken L's, I think most people have, with cheating, or come meet my family, and that still don't mean anything. Or you weren't even trying to meet family, and it was just a friends with benefits situation, but then you got somebody's dad popping up. Now he want to take pictures of you and his son because he think y'all gonna be together, and that's not what, like, I've taken L's in every sense when it comes to relationships. I like, and what's the, just to get off that, because I mean, we all have lists and lists of how we've taken L's and believed things that we shouldn't have believed when it comes to our romantic partners in life. But I think overall, how you come out of situations with family, friendships, romantic relationships, work relationships, taking those experiences and coming out better, remaining optimistic, keeping the faith in yourself, keeping the faith in whoever your higher power is for you. For me, my spirit guides and God. Just knowing that they always have your back, and some things you do have to experience, some things you put yourself in that you didn't have to experience, but you're gonna get a lesson either way. So I think L's are just so, I don't even want to consider them as losses, but for the most part, we do consider them like that, losses, or you can flip that and turn that into lessons. But it's I don't know, for me personally, it's what makes me go harder, try in different areas. Okay, well, that didn't work. Let's maneuver in this way. Okay, that didn't work. Well, let's try this. Oh, well, I wasn't really into that, but now I know that, A, B, and C might be options to think about in the future, like things to consider, to try out, whatever. So rejections and losses and doors closing, opportunities, that's another thing. I've had a lot of L's when it comes to like taking opportunities, because I either was trying to people please, or worry about other opinions over mine, basically, when it comes to my life. So I've taken L's in senses like that. And but again, it's all part of, you gotta fall down. You have to fall down, but you don't have to stay there. You can pick your ass back up and keep it pushing, keep it marching. And every time I've done that, every time there's been like a crazy rejection, a loss, whatever the case may be, something better has come from that. And I think that's why I remain like optimistic. Like, there's something, whether it be something small or something grand, like something better has come from being down and getting back up. Like, something has come, something positive, whether that be physical or spiritual or whatever. Like, something, I have gained something. And so that's what helps me keep my optimism. Of course, there are some days where I'm just like, oh, I wonder, what about this, what about that? And you have your lows, but like I said, as long as you don't stay down, in those moments, like, feel what you need to feel. Like I said earlier, feel your way through and pick yourself up. Talk to somebody if you need to, whatever. Like, if you're not like I just can't pick myself up on my own, which is fine. Some people need assistance. Do that. Do whatever you need to do to like get yourself back up. Don't stay in a place. Don't let family, friends, anybody make you feel down about where you're at. Pick yourself up little by little, day by day, and grow. Grow. Like, that's what it is. And then out of that growth, optimism, happiness, little moments where you're just like, oh, that was unexpected. Like, it's just, I don't know. I feel like closed doors, all these things that people take to heart, you know, when it doesn't happen for them, what's meant to be will be. What's for you will not pass you by. And I promise you it won't. That's why, like, when I quit a job and I don't get one that I applied to, like, right away, I'm like, that place wasn't for me. There wasn't anything for me there. There was nothing for me to experience or learn, and I leave it be. Or that person, you know, you try to date or whatever, and it's like, okay, they're not into me, they're not into this. All right, well, we just keep it pushing. We keep going elsewhere. We meet somebody else who, like, you know, fits us. Like, is your puzzle piece, basically. Is your puzzle piece. This is like what I like to use. Again, like that job, move on, family. Okay, they may not agree with something, but they may change their minds once they see the results of what you've been, you know, pushing hard to accomplish, and and it may not have come overnight, but now it's here. Like, that's just, don't stay down. Rejection, losses are not, you know, the end all be alls. They're just little stepping stones, little hurdles in life. Some are larger than others, but like I said, it's all about growth. It's all about pushing forward. So that was my little Brews with Brianna on rejection and losses. I didn't even eat my ice during the video, but whatever. I'm just talking so much. I'm like a little congested too. So I'm sorry. Like, it was, I don't know. It's the weather. It's rainy, it's hot, it's cold, and it's a lot happening anyways. Thank you. Get ready for episode 6. Hopefully I'll have a special guest for that one, but we shall see. Love you guys.